Tomi went for a Christmas blind date in Seoul. Instead of "nice to meet you," she got, "You're not my type. You're not classy enough." Then he stood up
I'm so
and
sorry,
walked out in the
Tomi.
middle of a busy restaurant. She was still
But you are
deciding
not
whether
just
to
my
hide in the
type.
bathroom or disappear from the world, when a tiny hand pulled her sleeve
You
and a
look
5-year-old girl
sad.
said, "You look sad.
Do you want
my dad?
dad?
He's rich and he's kind." So now the real question is, will Tomi walk out with her pride and miss the man she was meant to meet? Or sit down one more time and risk her heart on the love standing right in front of her? Hey guys, welcome back to Munlyt Stories, where we bring you juicy and amazing tales straight from the heart. Now grab a glass of wine, sit back, and let's give you some juicy gist. Don't forget to tell us where you are watching from in the comment, hit like, subscribe, and join the circle. Because here at Munlyt Stories, every story begins with you. Tomi sat on the edge of her small bed and stared at her phone. Messages from church groups, office chats, and Christmas broadcasts were rolling in, but her chest still felt empty. Another year was ending and she was still single, still far from home, still pretending it did not bother her. She dropped the phone and stood up. Work was fine. Clients liked her designs. Her boss trusted her. But when she got home every night, silence followed her. No loud gist. No siblings. No familiar noise. Just her and her thoughts. Her phone started ringing again. It was Kemi. "Tomi, pick up a bag." Kemi's voice came through, full of energy as usual. "I don't like this your quiet Christmas mood." "I'm fine," Tomi said. "I just want to rest." "Restka? On Christmas Eve?" "No way. See, I've told you need to go out. There is this Korean guy from church. Good job, serious, single. I already sent him your number." Tomi sighed. "Kemi, don't Kemi me. You have been single for how long now?" 2 years. "You are not cursed, you're just hiding. Let somebody like you small." "It's not like I plan to be alone," Tomi muttered. "I know. That's why you will dress up this evening and go for this blind date." He already agreed. "I have booked a restaurant. I'll send you the time and place. Just show up." Tomi wanted to refuse. She was tired of trying. Tired of small talk that went nowhere. Tired of men who liked her accent but not her life. But somewhere inside, a tiny part of her was still hoping. "What if it's awkward?" she asked. "Then you will eat good food and come home," Kemi said. "At least you tried. But what if it is good? What if this one is different?" Tomi went quiet. Different. That word touched something in her. "Fine," she said at last. "I'll go. That's my girl," Kemi shouted. "Simple dress, small makeup. Don't overthink it. Just be yourself." After the call, Tomi opened her wardrobe. She picked a simple black dress and a light jacket. Nothing dramatic. She tied her hair neatly and added small earrings. She looked at herself in the mirror. Not perfect. Not bad. Just Tomi. "Maybe this one will be different," she whispered. She picked up her bag, took a deep breath, and stepped out to meet a stranger she had never seen. Tomi reached the restaurant a little before the time Kemi sent. It was a small place, quiet and neat. She walked to the counter and cleared her throat. "Excuse me. I have a reservation." "Under Tomi," she said. The staff checked and nodded. "Yes, table for 2. You can sit. The other guest has not arrived." Tomi forced a smile and followed him. She sat, dropped her bag on the chair beside her, and checked her phone. The chat with Kemi was still open. Under it was the message from the guy. "Hi, I'm looking forward to meeting you. See you later." She read the line again and tried to relax. Minutes passed. She checked the time. 10 minutes late. She told herself it was nothing. People ran late sometimes. Maybe he was stuck somewhere. Maybe he was looking for parking. She tried not to stare at the door, but each time it opened, her eyes moved there on their own. 15 minutes. 20 minutes. Her chest started to feel tight. She opened her chat and typed, "Hi, I'm here at the restaurant. Just checking if you're close." She added a small smiley face and sent it. No reply. She locked her phone and unlocked it again. Checked the signal. Checked the message. Nothing. Her mind went back to other times. The guy who said he would call and never did. The one who chatted for weeks and disappeared once she sent a real picture of herself. The one who said she was interesting, but not the type he could introduce to family. Her throat burned a little. A staff came by. "Would you like to order something while you wait?" "I'll just have water for now," Tomi said. 30 minutes. Her message still had no reply. Her hope dropped little by little. She tried to sit straight and keep her face calm, but inside she was already packing her feelings and hiding them. Maybe he is not coming, she whispered to herself. She slid her bag closer and reached for it. At that moment, the waiter walked back to her table, holding something small in his hand. "Miss Tomi," he asked. "Yes. Someone dropped this at the front and said it is for you." He placed a small envelope on the table. Her name was written on it in neat writing. She opened it slowly. Inside was a plain card with one short line. "Something better is coming. Don't give up." Tomi stared at the words, confused. There was no name, no number, no explanation. She looked around, but no one was watching her. For the first time that evening, she did not know whether to feel angry, afraid, or strangely seen. Tomi held the card for a long time. "Something better is coming. Don't give up." Better than what? A ghost date? She almost laughed. In the end, she put some money on the table, dropped the card into her bag, and went home with a heavy heart. That night, Kemi called. "How did it go?" she asked. "He didn't come," Tomi said. "No call, no text. Nothing." Kemi hissed. "Some people are wicked." "I'm so sorry." "It's fine," Tomi lied. "I'm used to it." "No, you should not be used to it," Kemi said. "Listen, there is someone else. His name is Jae-suk. Serious guy. Good job. Responsible. I didn't want to bother you with it, but Tomi, give love one more chance. Please." "I'm tired," Tomi said quietly. "I know," Kemi replied. "But what if this one is better? Tomorrow is Christmas. Do you want to spend it alone again?" Tomi thought of the empty room, her quiet dinner, and that strange card in her bag. Something better is coming. The words refused to leave her mind. "Fine," she said slowly. "One last try." "Good girl," Kemi said. "I'll send the place in time. This restaurant is nicer. Wear that green dress I like." On Christmas Day, Tomi dressed up carefully. Light makeup, simple jewelry, green dress. She looked at herself and whispered, "This is the last time." At the restaurant, she gave her name and was shown to the table. She sat, smoothed her dress, and waited. Her heart beat faster when she saw a tall Korean man walking towards her table. He stopped, looked at her face, then looked down at her dress and shoes. His expression did not change. "You're Tomi?" he asked. "Yes." "You're Jae-suk, right?" she said, trying to smile. He sat down slowly, but did not greet her properly. His eyes scanned her again, from her hair to her hands. "I wasn't expecting you to look like this," he said. Tomi blinked. "Like what?" He shrugged. "Kemi made it sound like you were more polished. You look okay, but not really my type." The words hit her chest like a slap. "I'm sorry," she asked. He leaned back. "Look, I date women from my usual circle. High class, same level. You seem nice, but I'm not feeling it. No need to waste time." Before she could answer, he stood up, picked his phone, and said, "I have a family thing. Enjoy your day." Then he walked out. Tomi sat frozen. She could feel people looking at her. Her throat tightened. Shame burned in her chest. In that moment, she was sure of one thing. She was done. No more blind dates. No more hope. No more love talk. She sat there alone on Christmas Day and told herself, "This is the last time I will try." Tomi did not move. She sat there, hands on her lap, staring at the glass in front of her. Her ears were hot, but her fingers felt cold. People at nearby tables went back to their food, but she still felt their eyes on her, even if they were no longer looking. "This is why I don't bother," she thought. "This is why I stay on my own." Her phone buzzed, but she did not check it. She knew it was Kemi. She had no strength to explain this one yet. She took a slow breath and reached for her bag. She just wanted to pay for her drink and leave quietly. No drama. No tears here. If she would cry at home. Just as she started to stand, she felt a tiny pull on her sleeve. It was small but firm. Tomi turned, confused. Beside her stood a little Korean girl, maybe 5 years old. Her hair was in small pigtails. Her eyes were big and serious, studying Tomi's face like she was a puzzle. "Hi," the girl said. Tomi blinked. "Hi," she replied softly. "Are you lost?" The girl shook her head. "No." She kept staring. Tomi became aware of her own face and quickly wiped under her eyes, just in case. "You look sad," the girl said simply. Tomi let out a short, shaky laugh. "Do I?" "Yes." The girl nodded like she was giving a report. "You are sitting alone. Everybody else is laughing. Your mouth is not laughing." Tomi pressed her lips together to stop them from trembling. "I'm fine," she lied. "I'm just resting." The girl leaned closer. lowering her voice like she was sharing a big secret. "Do you want my dad?" she asked. Tomi almost choked. My dad," the girl repeated unfazed. "He is rich and kind. And he is not married. You can like him." For a moment, Tomi forgot her shame. Her eyes widened, and then a small laugh escaped her without permission. "Your dad?" she asked. "You were just giving him out like that?" The girl shrugged. "You are pretty, but your eyes are sad. My dad likes kind people. I think he will like you." Tomi shook her head slowly, half shocked, half amused. The pain in her chest did not disappear, but it shifted. This child's boldness was too much. "What is your name?" Tomi asked. "Hannah," she answered proudly. "I'm 5. "Hannah," Tomi repeated. "You know you are very funny, right?" "I'm serious," Hannah said. "My dad is." "Hannah," a man's voice called from behind them. The girl turned her head. "Yes, Appa." Tomi looked up, her heart suddenly calm and curious at the same time, as the owner of the voice began to walk towards their table. The man who walked towards them had the same serious eyes as Hannah, but softer. He stopped beside Tomi's table and gave a small bow. "I'm sorry," he said in careful English. "Did my daughter disturb you?" Tomi stood up halfway, then sat back, unsure what to do. No, it's fine," she replied. "She's very friendly." Hannah pointed at Tomi. "Appa, she is sad. I told her you are rich and kind." Tomi covered her face with her hand for a second. "Oh my God," she muttered under her breath. The man's lips curved in a quiet smile, but his eyes were full of apology. "I'm really sorry," he said to Tomi. "She talks too much sometimes." "I'm serious," Hannah insisted. "She should not sit alone. You said we must help people that are alone on Christmas." Tomi looked from the child to the man. So this was the famous rich and kind dad. He turned back to Tomi. "I'm Han Minjun," he said. "This is my daughter, Hannah. She noticed you were alone." "Tomi," she replied. "Nice to meet you." "Nice to meet you, Tomi SSI," he said gently. "I apologize again. Today is already not easy for you." Her words may have made it more awkward. "It's okay," Tomi said. "Honestly, she made me laugh. That helped." Hannah tugged her father's sleeve. "Appa, ask her." Minjun sighed softly. "Ask her what?" "Ask her to sit with us," Hannah said. "Please. She can't stay alone. It's Christmas." He looked at Tomi, a little embarrassed. "Hannah is very direct," he said. "But she is right about one thing. No one should sit alone today." Tomi swallowed. Part of her wanted to run home and hide under her blanket. Another part looked at Hannah's hopeful face and felt something warm push through the hurt. "I don't want to impose," Tomi said. "You're not imposing," Hannah cut in quickly. "We have space. I will sit in the middle. You and Appa can talk." Minjun shook his head lightly at his daughter's plan, but turned back to Tomi. His voice was calm, not pushy. "If you are comfortable," he said, "you can join us. Just a simple meal. No pressure. If not, I understand." Tomi looked down at her empty table, then at the chair beside Hannah. She heard her own voice before she finished thinking. "I'll join you," she said quietly. "Thank you." Hannah's face lit up. She grabbed Tomi's hand like she had just won a prize. "Yay. Come, Tomi. Sit with us." As Tomi followed them to their table, the sharp pain from Jae-suk's words did not disappear, but it softened. For the first time that day, she did not feel like the girl who was rejected. She felt like someone who had been invited. Tomi sat down beside Hannah, with Minjun across from them. The extra chair felt strange at first, but Hannah squeezed closer like they had known each other before. "Do you like Korean food?" Minjun asked. "Yes," Tomi said. "I've been here for some years. I'm getting used to it." "You're not Korean," Hannah said, studying her. "Where are you from?" "I'm Nigerian," Tomi replied with a small smile. "From Lagos." "Naija?" Hannah tried to repeat. Tomi laughed. "Close enough." They ordered simple food. Nothing heavy, nothing too fancy. Tomi's mind was still a little shaky from what happened earlier, but sitting here felt better than sitting alone. "What do you do in Seoul?" Minjun asked. "I work as an interior designer," Tomi said. "I help people arrange their spaces, choose colors, that kind of thing." "That sounds interesting," he said. "Homes or offices?" "Both," she replied. "Sometimes hotels too. I like taking empty spaces and making them feel alive." He nodded slowly. "I run a hotel group," he said. "Small but growing. So I understand that feeling. You want people to feel at peace when they enter." Tomi's eyes lifted. "You own hotels?" "Yes," he said simply. "I'm the CEO. But it started small. one building, then another. Wow, Tomi said. That's a lot of work. It is, he answered. But it helps me stay focused, especially after my wife passed. Tomi grew quiet. I'm sorry, she said softly. He gave a small nod. It's been 3 years. Hannah was 2 then. Now it's just the 2 of us most days. Tomi looked at Hannah. The little girl was dipping a piece of food in sauce, humming to herself. You're doing well, Tomi said. She's bright. And very bold. Too bold sometimes, he replied, but there was pride in his voice. As they ate, the talk became lighter. Tomi shared funny stories about mixing Yoruba words with Korean and confusing taxi drivers. Hannah laughed so hard she almost dropped her spoon. Say it again, Hannah begged. The way you said appa, and the ajusi answered. Tomi repeated it, and even Minjun smiled fully this time. By the end of the meal, Hannah had shifted closer and was leaning against Tomi's arm, half tired, half comfortable. Tomi rested her hand lightly on the girl's shoulder. It felt natural. When it was time to go, Minjun stood to pay. Tomi reached for her purse. Let me at least pay for mine, she said. He shook his head. You already paid, he said. How? She asked, confused. You turned a hard Christmas into a soft one for us, he replied. That is enough. Outside the restaurant, they paused. I don't want to be rude, he said, pulling out a small card. But if you ever want to talk again, or if Hannah keeps asking about Tomi from Christmas, this is my number. Tomi took the card. Thank you, she said. Thank you for joining us, he replied. You saved our Christmas today. As she walked away, card in hand and Hannah's small wave in her mind, Tomi felt something she had not felt in a long time. She felt noticed. For days, Tomi kept glancing at the small card on her table. Han Minjun, phone number. Nothing more. Sometimes she picked it up, smiled at the memory of Hannah's loud, honest voice, then dropped it again. She told herself it was just a nice Christmas moment. Nothing serious. Life had gone back to normal. Office, clients, quiet evenings. 3 days after Christmas, her phone buzzed while she was replying to an email. Unknown number. Hello, this is Minjun. I hope you are well. She stared at the screen, heart beating a little faster. Before she could reply, another message came in. Hannah is asking if Tomi from Christmas can come to our house this Saturday. We are making pancakes. No pressure. Tomi covered her face and laughed softly. Kemi would shout if she heard this. She typed slowly. Hi, Mr. Han. I'm well, thank you. Pancakes sound nice. What time? His reply came quick. Please call me Minjun. 10 a.m. is okay? I'll send the address. On Saturday, Tomi stood in front of their door, holding a small bag with chocolate chips and a storybook for Hannah. She took a breath and pressed the bell. The door opened, and Hannah's face appeared first. Tomi, she shouted and jumped forward. You came. Tomi laughed. Of course. You invited me for pancakes. I can't miss that. Minjun appeared behind her. Good morning, he said with a warm smile. Welcome. Inside, the kitchen was already busy. Bowls on the counter. Eggs, flour, milk, and a pan heating on the stove. Hannah is the mixing boss, Minjun said. I handle the pan. You can be the flipping expert. No problem, Tomi said. I am ready. Hannah dragged a small stool next to Tomi. We will make heart pancakes, she declared. And star pancakes. And one big pancake for Appa. As they mixed, flour somehow landed on Tomi's cheek. Hannah giggled. You have white dot, Hannah said, pointing. Tomi took a bit of flour with her finger and tapped Hannah's nose. Now you too. Hannah gasped, then burst into laughter. Appa, look. Minjun turned and laughed as well. Both of you are inside the recipe now. They took turns pouring batter into the pan. Tomi flipped the first pancake perfectly. Hannah clapped like she had just watched a magic trick. As they worked, Hannah started singing a small song she made up on the spot about Pancake Tomi and Appa's big stomach. Tomi laughed so hard her sides hurt. The house did not feel like a stranger's place. It felt warm and alive, filled with voices and small jokes. And for the first time in a long while, Tomi did not feel like a visitor in her own life. She felt like she was part of something. By the time the last pancake left the pan, Hannah had eaten more than she should, and Tomi had laughed more than she had in months. Next time we will add strawberries, Hannah said, mouth half full. Next time? Tomi asked, raising a brow. Yes, Hannah replied firmly. You must come again. Every Saturday. Minjun smiled. You're already planning for her? Hannah nodded without shame. She is Pancake Tomi now. She can't run away. Tomi chuckled, but the words settled gently in her chest. Next time. It sounded nice. That next time came faster than she expected. The following Friday, another message came from Minjun. Hannah is asking if Pancake Tomi is free tomorrow. No pressure, as always. Tomi looked at her calendar. She had planned to clean her room and catch up on dramas. Nothing serious. I'm free, she replied. What are we cooking this time? Pancakes again, he sent back. She refuses to upgrade the menu. So she went again. Then again the week after that. Soon, Pancake Saturday became their thing. Some Saturdays, they stayed in, trying new toppings or funny shapes. Other times, after eating, they took short walks together or grabbed simple food outside. Once, they ended up on the floor watching cartoons while Hannah lay across both their laps, switching sides like she owned both of them. Tomi started bringing small things whenever she came. A storybook, stickers, hair clips. One day she brought a simple drawing book and crayons. This is for you, Tomi told Hannah, so you can draw all your pancake designs. Hannah hugged it like treasure. Thank you. My Tomi, she said softly. The words caught Tomi off guard. You're what? She asked. My Tomi, Hannah repeated, like it was the most natural thing. Other people have aunties. I have my Tomi. Minjun heard it from the doorway. His eyes met Tomi's for a second, and he gave a small smile, like he understood how heavy and sweet those two words were. As the weeks passed, the routine settled into their lives without anyone naming it. Tomi's phone would light up with a message from Minjun, and her heart would lift before she even opened it. He didn't send long chats, just simple lines. Saturday. Hannah is already talking about your syrup skills. I bought extra flour. Tomi realized she was also waiting for those messages. She noticed the way Minjun relaxed more when she was there, how he would lean on the counter and listen while she joked with Hannah. He did not try to impress her. He was just present. And in the middle of this quiet pattern, pancakes, small gifts, silly songs, something gentle began to grow between the three of them, like a story nobody had planned, but all of them were slowly writing together. It started with another Saturday. They had finished eating, and Hannah was still full of energy. She skipped around the living room, hugging her drawing book. Tomi, she said, let's not go out today. Let's watch a movie. All of us. Tomi glanced at Minjun. All of us? Yes, Hannah insisted. Appa, you too. No work. Minjun looked at Tomi and shrugged. The boss has spoken, he said. Any choice? Hannah picked a simple family movie she had seen before, but she didn't mind. She squeezed herself between them on the sofa, one hand on Tomi's arm, the other on her father's. At first, they all watched and made small comments. Hannah laughed loudly at parts that were not even that funny. Tomi laughed too, more at Hannah's reactions than at the movie. Halfway through, Hannah shifted. She slid closer to Tomi, rested her head on Tomi's lap, and pulled Tomi's hand over her like a small blanket. Tomi looked down, surprised. Are you okay? She asked. I'm okay, Hannah murmured. I like here. Her eyes started to close slowly. Within minutes, her breathing became steady. She was fast asleep. Tomi swallowed. She did not move. She was afraid that if she shifted, she would break something gentle that had just settled. She looked at Minjun. He had also turned his eyes from the screen to the sleeping child. His face had that soft, quiet look she was starting to recognize, the one he wore whenever Hannah did something that touched him. She really trusts you, he said in a low voice. Tomi smiled a little. She is easy to love, she replied. They watched the rest of the movie in silence. The noise from the TV became background. What Tomi felt was the weight of Hannah's head, the warmth of her small body, and the sense that she was standing in a place that did not fully belong to her, but was slowly making space. When the movie ended, Minjun reached for the remote and turned it off. The room went quiet. He looked at Tomi, his voice almost a whisper. You fit here, he said. It feels natural. The words entered her like a slow wave. No decoration, no big promise, just truth. Tomi did not trust her voice, so she did not answer with words. Instead, she shifted slightly and leaned her head on his shoulder. He did not move away. Her heart was beating fast, but it was not the afraid kind. It was the kind that said yes without speaking at all. After that movie night, something between them shifted quietly. Tomi still went home to her own small apartment, still went to work as usual, but her days now had a new center. She had Pancake Saturdays, random messages from Minjun, and small voice notes from Hannah saying, Good night, my Tomi. One afternoon, Tomi was at her desk in the office when her phone rang. It was Minjun. "Are you busy?" he asked. "A little," she said. "But I can talk." "I need help," he said. "Work help. Not pancake help." She smiled. "Okay. Tell me." "I'm opening a new boutique hotel in Seoul," he said. "The building is ready. The inside is still empty. I keep looking at it, but all I see are walls. I want you to handle the design." Tomi sat up straight. "Me?" "Yes, you," he replied. "I know you're good, and I trust your eye. I want the hotel to feel warm, not cold. I think you can do that." Tomi felt her throat tighten a little. She had handled important projects before, but this one felt different. This was his work, his company, his trust. "I'll do my best," she said. "Thank you for thinking of me." They started meeting often at the site office and in his company conference room. They spread out drawings and samples. Tomi talked about color, texture, and how she wanted guests to feel safe and at peace the moment they walked in. Minjun listened carefully. He did not act like a boss. He asked questions and gave ideas, but he always came back to one line. "If you think it works, I trust you," he would say. Sometimes after meetings, they would grab simple food together. Sometimes Hannah joined and turned serious talks into playful ones. Other times it was just the two of them, talking about work and then drifting into small personal stories. One evening, after a long day of planning, they were alone in the office. Papers were everywhere. Tomi rubbed her neck. "You must be tired," he said. "I am," she laughed. "But it's a good kind of tired." He watched her for a moment, then looked down at the drawings. "You know," he said slowly, "before I met you, I only thought about two things. Work and Hannah. That was enough for me. Or I told myself it was." Tomi listened quietly. "I was afraid to love anyone again," he continued. "I didn't want Hannah to get attached and then lose someone. I didn't want to lose anyone either. So I just worked. Every day. No real life. Just duty." He raised his eyes to hers. "Then you walked into that restaurant, sad and still trying to smile," he said. "And somehow you changed everything. For her. For me." Tomi's chest grew tight. "I didn't do anything special," she said softly. "You did," he replied. "You came in and sat with us. You laughed. You cared. You kept coming back. You gave us something I thought we had lost." There was a small silence. Tomi took a step closer. "I was also afraid," she confessed. "Of trying again. Of being rejected again. That day with Jasuk. I said in my heart I was done. But meeting you and Hannah, it felt like God was saying, 'Wait.'" He smiled, eyes warm. They were standing close now. No rush. No drama. Just two people who had slowly walked towards each other without planning it. "Tomi," he said, voice low, "I don't want to pretend anymore. I care about you. Deeply." She breathed out, like she had been holding the air inside her for months. "I care about you too," she said. "Both of you." He lifted a hand, gave her enough time to step back if she wanted. She did not. His fingers brushed her cheek, and then slowly he leaned in. Their first kiss was not wild or hurried. It was slow and sure, like they were sealing something they had already been living for weeks. When they parted, Tomi's eyes were soft. "This feels right," she said quietly. "It does," he answered. "It feels like we are designing more than a hotel." She smiled. "We are designing a life." After that night in the office, things did not suddenly become dramatic. Nothing big changed in public. But inside their small circle, everything moved one quiet step forward. They still had Pancake Saturdays. They still had movie nights. But now, when Tomi arrived, Minjun hugged her at the door. Small, steady hugs. Nothing rushed. When she left, he walked her to the gate, holding her hand like it was something he planned to keep. Little by little, Tomi started staying longer. One Saturday, she forgot her toothbrush in the bathroom. The next time she came, it was still there in a cup beside Hannah's pink one and Minjun's blue one. "I kept it," Hannah said proudly. "Now you must come back." Tomi laughed. "I was coming back anyway." Her things began to appear around the house without any big talk. A scarf on the back of a chair. Her slippers near the door. A small jar of her favorite tea in the kitchen. A bonnet on Hannah's bed for the nights she stayed over. In the evenings, when work allowed, she helped Hannah with school homework. English reading, small maths, drawing. Hannah liked to sit close, her head sometimes leaning on Tomi's arm as she wrote crooked letters. "Appa, look," Hannah would say. "Tomi is quicker than my teacher." Minjun would smile. "Of course. Tomi is special." On nights when Tomi stayed late, she helped with bedtime. She and Hannah had their own routine now. After bath time, they picked a story. Sometimes it was a children's book. Sometimes it was a simple story from Nigeria that Tomi turned into a short bedtime tale. "Tell me about when you were small," Hannah would say, snuggling into her pillow. Tomi would sit on the edge of the bed and talk about power going off, neighbors shouting across balconies, and her mother calling everyone for food. Hannah listened with wide eyes, like she was watching a movie only she could see. One night, after a long day, Hannah was already half asleep when she spoke. "Tomi," she whispered. "Yes, baby?" Tomi replied, brushing her hair back. "Can you be my real family?" Hannah asked. Like, not only Pancake Tomi, real Tomi. The question hit Tomi's heart directly. Her throat felt tight. She swallowed hard and blinked fast, forcing the tears to stay back. I love you like real family," Tomi said softly. "You know that, right?" Hannah nodded, eyes closing slowly. "Then it's okay," she murmured. "You are my family." When Tomi stepped out of the room, she met Minjun in the hallway. He had heard some of it. She leaned into his chest and finally let one tear fall. "She asked if I can be her real family," Tomi said. Minjun wrapped his arms around her. "You already are," he said. "To both of us." Life settled into a simple rhythm. Morning, work, messages, evenings, weekends. Nothing loud, nothing like a movie. But every day, one small thing reminded Tomi that her life had changed. Sometimes it was a short text from Minjun in the morning. "Don't forget to eat. Meeting today. You'll do well." Sometimes it was a picture from Hannah, a messy drawing of 3 people holding hands with Appa plus Hannah plus Tomi, written in shaky letters. On some days, Tomi joined the school run. She would sit in the front seat while Hannah chattered from the back. "Tomi, did you ever get in trouble in school?" Hannah would ask. "Many times," Tomi would say. "For what?" "For talking too much in class." Hannah would laugh. "Just like me." In the evenings, they often ate simple dinners together. Rice, stew, soup, nothing fancy. Tomi noticed how Minjun always waited for both of them to sit before he picked up his chopsticks. He noticed how she liked a bit more pepper than he did and kept an extra small bowl aside for her. They started learning each other's small habits without talking about it. Tomi learned that when Minjun was stressed, he rubbed the bridge of his nose and went quiet. He liked his coffee strong but always left the last sip. He enjoyed listening more than speaking and preferred honest words over sweet ones. Minjun learned that Tomi worked better at night, that she hummed under her breath when she was thinking, and that she needed time to process things before giving an answer. He noticed that she got shy when someone praised her, but her eyes shone when anybody praised her work. On some nights, they sat on the sofa after Hannah had gone to bed. No big talk, just small gist about clients, school newsletters, and new hotel updates. Sometimes Tomi would rest her feet on the table and lean against him. Sometimes he would gently massage her shoulders when she complained about back pain from carrying samples around. There were no surprise trips, no huge gifts, no dramatic fights followed by wild makeup scenes. Just steady presence. A call when one of them was running late. A lunchbox he packed for her on a busy day. Extra plantain he fried because he knew she liked it. A text from her when he had a long meeting. "Have you eaten? Drink water." One night, as she washed plates while he dried them, Tomi paused. "This is it," she said. He looked at her. "What is it?" "This kind of love," she answered. "Normal. Calm. Not perfect. But real." He smiled, took the plate from her hand, and kissed her forehead. "That's all I ever wanted too," he said. Tomi looked around at the simple scene. Used plates, small jokes, tired bodies, but open hearts. For the first time in her life, she felt like love was not a test she had to pass. It was a home she was already inside. By the time December came again, their lives were fully tied together. One evening after dinner, Hannah was drawing on the floor while Tomi and Minjun cleared the table. He wiped his hands and looked at Tomi. "Do you know it's almost 1 year?" he asked. "1 year since what?" she teased. "Since you burnt the first pancake?" He smiled. "1 year since Jae-suk walked out and Hannah pulled your sleeve." Tomi went quiet. She had not forgotten, but hearing it like that made her chest feel full. "I want us to do something this Christmas," he continued. "Not big. Just the 3 of us. A small trip. No work. No meetings. Just us." Tomi looked at Hannah. "What do you think, madam?" Hannah threw her pencil in the air. "Trip. Trip. Trip." Yes, that was how they ended up in a small rented place outside Seoul for Christmas. No visitors. No office. No church programs. Just them. They cooked together, moving around each other like they had practiced for years. Tomi handled seasoning, Minjun handled timing, and Hannah handled tasting before anybody else. "Appa, this one is too small," Hannah said, stealing a piece of meat from the pot. "Leave it," Tomi said. "Let the inspector do her work." After eating, they played simple games. Card games. Word games. Guessing games. Hannah made up her own rules and still wanted to win every time. Later that night, while Hannah built a pillow house on the floor, Tomi and Minjun sat side by side. "Do you remember how you felt that day?" he asked quietly. "In that restaurant?" Tomi nodded. "I felt useless," she said honestly. "Like I was not enough for anyone. I told myself I would never try again." He turned to look at her. "And now?" She looked at him, then at Hannah, who was now trying to drag all the pillows to one side. "Now I feel," she searched for the right word. "Full. Seen. Wanted. Not perfect, but sure." She laughed softly. "Sometimes I still remember that girl sitting alone at the table, trying not to cry. I wish I could tell her, stand up. Just wait. Your story is not ending there. You did stand up," he said. "You walked out, and somehow walked into us." Tomi smiled. "I'm glad Hannah was stubborn that day." From the floor, Hannah raised her head. "I heard my name. I'm always right," she declared. They laughed, and Tomi's heart felt calm. A whole year had passed since that painful Christmas, and she was no longer the woman waiting for someone to choose her. She was already chosen. That night, after Hannah finally fell asleep in her pillow house, the room became quiet. Tomi and Minjun stepped out to the small sitting area. There were cups on the table and leftover snacks nobody had strength to finish. Tomi sat down and stretched her legs with a small sigh. "I'm tired," she said, smiling. "But it's a sweet kind of tired." Minjun sat opposite her, then changed his mind and came to sit beside her instead. "I've been thinking," he said. "That sounds serious," she teased. "It is," he replied. "A little." She turned her body slightly to face him. "I'm listening." He looked down at his hands for a moment. "When my wife died," he began slowly, "I thought that part of my life was over. I decided that it would just be me and Hannah. Work, home, sleep, repeat. No more space for anybody else." Tomi watched him quietly. "I didn't want anyone to come and fix us," he continued. "We were not broken toys waiting for repair. We were just two people trying to survive." He lifted his eyes to hers. "Then you came, and you didn't try to fix anything. You didn't come with big advice or big drama. You just joined us. Pancakes, homework, late-night gist. You helped us build something new slowly, with your own hands and heart." Tomi's throat grew tight. "Sometimes I ask myself," he said, "how did one woman who was rejected at a table become the heart of my whole house?" Tomi blinked fast. "You'll make me cry," she warned. He gave a small smile, then reached into his pocket. Her breath caught when she saw the small box. "This is not a movie proposal," he said gently. "No big crowd. No long speech. Just me, asking for a real life with you." He opened the box. Inside was a simple, beautiful ring. "I want all of it with you, Tomi," he said. "Not only the happy days. I want work stress, school runs, dirty plates, tired evenings, Pancake Saturdays, project deadlines, and quiet nights. I want to walk all of it with you. Will you marry me?" Tomi's eyes filled at once. For a moment, she could not speak. She pressed her hand to her mouth, laughing through the tears. At that exact second, Hannah ran in, hair messy, eyes half asleep. "Did she say yes yet?" she asked loudly. Tomi burst into a full laugh, tears rolling down her cheeks. Minjun turned to Hannah. "Not yet. We are waiting." Tomi wiped her face, looked at both of them, and felt her heart settle. "Yes," she said, voice shaking but sure. "Of course. Yes." Hannah screamed and jumped on the sofa. "I knew it. Now you are my real family forever." When the trip ended and they drove back to Seoul, everything felt both normal and new at the same time. Hannah talked all the way home. "My mummy Tomi said yes," she told anyone who would listen at the fuel station. "Now we are real family." Tomi covered her face. "This child will announce it on the news soon," she said. Back at the house, Tomi's small bag suddenly looked too small for her life. A few days later, she went to her apartment with Minjun and started packing properly. Clothes, books, decor pieces, her work files. She touched the walls and smiled. "This place saved me," she said. "But I'm ready to go." "Take your time," Minjun replied. "We're not rushing you." "I'm ready," she repeated. And she was. When her things arrived at the house, Hannah ran from room to room shouting, "Tommy's things are here. Tomi lives here now." She helped carry small items, even if they were almost heavier than her. They told people in simple ways. No big drama. At church, close friends hugged them. Some aunties nodded like they had seen it coming. At the office, Tomi told a few colleagues. One of them said, "He must be blind if he didn't choose you." And Tomi just laughed because he did choose her. The loudest reaction came from Kemi. They called her on video. As soon as Tomi raised her hand to show the ring, Kemi screamed so loudly that Hannah jumped. "Jesus! Tomi!" Kemi shouted. "Sigaro! The same Christmas blind date that almost finished you is the one that carried you to your husband's table." I said it, something better was coming." Tomi laughed until her eyes watered. "Thank you for that terrible blind date," she said. "You're welcome," Kemi replied proudly. "I will use it to preach to other single ladies." Life settled again, but now it had a new shape. Tomi's clothes hung in the wardrobe beside Minjun's shirts. 3 toothbrushes stood in one cup. School bags, design samples, and Hannah's toys lived in the same space. Some evenings, they cooked together. Other nights, they ordered simple food and ate on the floor. Hannah would sit between them, one hand in Tomi's, one in her father's. On one quiet night, as they folded clothes and argued playfully over who burnt the last pancake, Tomi paused. She looked at them and thought of that first Christmas, the empty chair, the harsh words, the strange envelope. From one rejection. From one bold little girl. From one second chance she almost refused. Now she had a home, a husband-to-be, and a child calling her my family. Her story did not end at that table. It started there. Thank you so much for staying with us till the very end of this story. If you enjoyed it, please don't forget to like this video, share it with your friends, and leave a comment below. We'd love to hear the lessons you learned and your thoughts on how we can continue improving to give you the very best. Here at Munlyt Stories, every tale is crafted with passion, care, and dedication. Our mission is simple: to entertain, inspire, and connect us all across cultures and hearts. So, keep the conversation alive in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss a new episode. Till next time, we are Munlyt Stories, bringing you amazing tales that touch hearts and spark imaginations. Stay blessed. Stay inspired. See you in the next story.